What is up, guys? We're going even deeper with World Liberty Financial Connections with Zebec today. And also, is there another regulated stablecoin on the horizon? We shall get into that and more. Let's cue our guy, Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing, let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting, so we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
What is up, Rue Crew? We in here today on a Wednesday. What's up, Nerky? What's up, Kevin? Garrett, the Rue Crew's own, Patreon's own. What's up, that one guy? What's up, Murik Daniel? What is going on, guys? Check it out. I made a cool new short for Zebec, which I think is pretty fly. An idea just came to me, and here it is. Michael Olowokandi at the end after he gets dunked on, just like, man, my parents was in the stands, and y'all gonna just dunk on me like that? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He had the whole
How dare you?
his face, bro. Like, but yeah, just a little fun there. Let's get into this show here. Let me go ahead and share the screen. What's up, Hugo? What's up, Rah Oliver? Let's get over here and share the screen, guys. And we will start. So let's start with this ADI chain, okay? Shout out to our brother Off Kryptonian. They just shared some news that there's going to be a Spaces with ADI chain. If I bring that news up here for just a second. If we go to Zebec's networks, excuse me, if we go to their site, there's a Spaces upcoming with Zebec, F-Asset, ADI, and Aleo. Okay, Aleo is who they're doing privacy payroll with. F-Asset, we've been over that a couple times. I'm sorry, it's Facet, not F-Asset. It's Facet. They're doing, basically, Facet has their own app where they offer assets. So, Facet. Two people in the UAE, people in Southeast Asia. So, Facet's a big uniter here. In fact, you're going to see when we talk about ADI here, ADI follows Facet. Facet seems to have a connection to these governments. And of course, we have Zebec. Later, we're going to talk about, I have some pre-recorded video with our guy, Crypto Future. Now, very, very funny, y'all. So, Crypto Future, right? When he came down here, I don't know if you guys saw, we did some content, me, Crypto Future, and Max in real life down here in Arizona. Crypto Future with no Canadian accent, all right? He looks both me and Max straight in the face, and he says this.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
I was rolling. I'm like, what? He's like, come on. You never seen Training Day? I was like, oh, bro. Oh, Training Day. You know what? Because everybody thinks of the scene where he's like, that's the same scene where he says, you know, King Kong ain't got crap on me. But in the beginning, he's like, I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Oh, man. Pretty funny there. But what's up, WF Capital Management? What's up, Mike Robledo? Or Robledo? Okay. So yeah, we got here Aleo, right? And we got this ADI. So checking out ADI, they have this nice commercial that brother Off Kryptonian sent me. Shout out to him. Let's give his X a follow here. He's a part of Zebec Nation. Hopefully you guys will catch me on Zebec Nation live on Friday. But let's give a little shout out to our brother Off Kryptonian here. I think I gotta look him up by his call sign because it never pops up when I put 3-1 whatever crypto for whatever reason. So shout out to 314 Crypto at All Kryptonian. And like I said, guys, every follower counts over here on X. So definitely give the brother a follow. Been putting out some of the greatest research on Zebec lately. All right. So kudos to this brother. A lot of these brothers share information with me. Such a welcoming community, the Zebec community. You know, brother Off Kryptonian, brother ZBCN man, brother Ghost out here. We got a lot of great members in the community. Shout out to them, right? Of course, we know Maximus Crypto is one, Rob Mass is another. Shout out to all the great voices in the community sharing information out here. You know, love them, love all these brothers. So definitely give them a like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. But let's take a listen to this from ADI Chain. One of the things I noticed right away from ADI Chain is this logo. It reminds me a lot of Ethereum's logo. And it has that whole as above, so below feeling about it. Also, there's a little duality there with the red on the top and the blue on the bottom. I don't know if any of you guys ever read the 48 Laws of Power, but that whole book is about duality. And the book is red and blue. And when you look at red and blue things, red and blue things are always dual things. Like when you look at your little water spouts, you know, hot is red, blue is cold. Democrat, Republican, blood, crip, you know, that's you know, you guys know how
Hospitality,
right? So let's
is built around the guest,
here,
but the systems behind it, hospitality is built around the guests, but the systems behind it never caught up. Check-in still creates queues and delays. Payments, especially cross-border, are still very slow and complex. And guest data lives in disconnected systems. For travelers, it's friction. For operators, it's complexity.
That's why ADI has signed an MOU with H2O. Together, we're collaborating on how to bring simpler payments, smarter identity, and compliant digital rails into everyday hotel operations, starting in the UAE with a model built to scale globally.
Our focus is practical, exploring how ADI's infrastructure can be built into real hospitality use cases, from smart check-in and guest wallets to seamless payments and compliant data flows. The goal is simple: a smoother experience for the guests and a better control for the operators.
This is just the starting point, a shared ambition to turn strong foundations into real guest value. Follow us as we move from exploration to execution and bring blockchain into hospitality the right way.
So we got H2O Hospitality and ADI. ADI is another Abu Dhabi company, right? That's funny. And we'll get to all the comments at the end here. And yeah, Rob has a pass for real, guys. And that's truly who he is. He loves hip hop. Max loves hip hop too. But we'll get into all of that here towards the end for sure. Shout out to guys who watch both of our channels. I know Hugo's definitely watches Rob's channel. And yeah, I got to do some more XPR videos. I definitely recently did one about XPR Metallica's here. But let's get back into what we're talking about here with the ADI. Let me So let's just read this whole thing here. Identity and payments are still where travel or where travel still breaks. Our partnership with H2O Hospitality tackles this by embedding blockchain rails directly into the guest experience, starting in the UAE. And this kind of gets into some of the stuff that I was talking about with the other partnership with the Trumps and the Maldives. So we're really seeing a big presence of the Trumps and of Zebec in the UAE. We will integrate ADI chain as the underlying infrastructure for H2O's smart check-in and wallet platforms. The goal is to enable travelers to access the digital economy without the complexity. This collaboration focuses on digital wallets, open seamlessly on arrival, payments settled on compliant regulated rails, identity verification that flows across systems. So one of the things I definitely know, like for people in that area that are in this UAE area, it would make it very much simpler for them if they were just able to transact in dollars, right? They have their own local currencies, right? But give them a Zebec card or let them deal with something like Facet, right? Now they can pay in dollars, right? And now that brings more liquidity to the dollar by giving it to people in that area. So again, this is a lot about what, if you've seen past shows on the channel, one of the things that David Sachs, Crypto Czar, said was that Donald Trump wanted to bring more liquidity to the dollar. Well, this is how you do it with chains like this that could possibly bring Zebec and more US stablecoins to people in the UAE. H20 manages the distribution layer. ADI chain provides sovereign grade settlement and regulatory alignment. This is how we bring trusted infrastructure to the travel economy. So very, very great there. This is not just about remittances, but this is also about making payment very, very, very easy with digital wallets that can be compliant on regulated rails that you can use just like a bank on your phone like we do here in America, but now providing this ease to someone in the UAE. So if we look at this ADI chain, like I said, logo is kind of reminiscent of Ethereum's, but a little more flat. And of course we got, the whole color thing, like I mentioned, and we got a monad right in the middle of that triangle. We won't go too deep on that though. Let's continue here. Now, what I looked at was a lot of the followers we got from this ADI and ADI chain. Like, who are they following? Now, I just would like to go back and remind you, right, of what Donald Trump did here, okay? Knowing that World Liberty Financial, 49% of it is owned by an Emirati guy, Emirati tycoon is how they say it, how this article is saying it, but an Emirati sheikh, like one of the Emiratis that basically is in charge of Dubai. We talk about the central bank of Dubai. This guy is pretty much in charge, okay? So World Liberty Financial launched in September 2024, penned a deal with Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, okay, who heads up United Arab Emirates, okay? So if we scroll down here, they also tell you that Tahnoon helped ink the deal with MGX, which I told you MGX and Trump are involved in Project Stargate. So check out our past episodes on that. We don't want to go too deep into that, but it shows you that there's money in USD1, and there's going to be even more money in USD1 if you think about they're connected to the $500 billion of Stargate, and they're highly connected to this MGX that is already building these AI data centers. And of course, they got $2 billion that they invested in Binance. This MGX invested in Binance using Trump's USD1. So there's a lot going on here, which we understand Zebec is going to be a partner to as far as payroll goes, because Simon has already told us this, right? Now, let's go back here to ADI chain and see what they got going on. Who's following them? So followers, I know ADI chain, they got a chain in Korea, which we know XRP is very big in Korea. They have their foundation chain, right? And they pay for the gold check mark. These are people that are just following them. Facet, of course, we know Facet. Now, people they're following, okay? And I was like, okay, of course they're following Facet. Of course they're following MasterCard Block and the Block, right? Then I scrolled all the way down, and who did I find? Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the guy who is partnered with World Liberty Financial. So ADI chain is also following him, which makes sense. If they're trying to do something in the UAE, in Dubai, they're going to need his approval. So it makes very much sense that they are following him as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at his account. Now, his account I was shocked of the list of people that like the man's a superstar out here. Like so Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan recently met with Meta's vice chair and board and the CEO of their AI. Okay. He met with the CEO of Morgan Stanley, where they reviewed the trajectory of a partnership between Morgan Stanley and Dubai, right? Remember, Morgan Stanley, they have a deal with Zero Hash. So this is another kind of indirect Zebec partner, because they're already partnered with Zero Hash and Securitize, okay? And we got the president of Paraguay, okay? We got the prime minister of digital development and artificial intelligence for Kazakhstan. And of all people, the billionaire of Virgin, Richard Branson, okay? What a list of people here. Like, huge list of people there. And then when you look at people who actually follow him, well, we got Canton CEO Yuval Roots, right here, Yuval Roots. Right there, we got, of course, since he's part of World Liberty Financial, he owns 49% of it. We got World Liberty Financial co-founder and COO, Zach Folkman. We got, shout out to CKJ Crypto News. We got him following them. We got CZ, Justin's son, Mark Yusko, Carolyn D. Pham, former acting CFTC chairwoman, okay, chairperson, Bilal bin Salkib. This is the one who basically for World Liberty Financial, he's an advisor there, and he's the one who got them into Pakistan, World Liberty Financial. President of Solana, Paul Barron, Monty Metzger, head of LCX, which will have a new video for them coming out tomorrow. Okay. Jim Breyer, Zebec, anyone? His company, Breyer Capital, is initial investor in Zebec and also Circle. And we got Chamath Palihapitiya, one of the first developers to work at Facebook, a billionaire in his own right, and he's brought multiple SPACs to the market on the stock market. So, okay, and someone says here, yeah, all Al Nahyans are royal family of UAE. Okay, thank you for that information. Appreciate it. So, very, very interesting there. Again, just shows that ADI, another company in this whole area of the UAE, we would understand them to have connections to Al Nahyan, right? Who owns 49% of World Liberty Financial. We know that this company here is getting things done here in the MENA region, okay? You know, in the Dubai, Southeast Asia, kind of Arab region, okay? It's the first institutional L2 for stablecoins and real-world assets in MENA. Trusted by governments, okay? Remember, the facet guy told us that, hey, we're very trusted by governments, and we're working with governments, and we're working with, well, he was true to life with that. They're working with, you know, Talnoon, right? Which he is, you know, Abu Dhabi government and all. You know, I'm sure he has connections to all the governments around there, and they also probably are working with all the governments around there as well to bring emerging economies on chain. So one of the things that people probably don't want to touch with this is that, you know, there's specific rules for people in that era that are Arab, right? About things that they can invest in, about usury and not having any usury and things like that. So it is a very important thing to get compliance in that area because they have certain religious requirements that, you know, prohibit them from investing in other things, right? So everything that they're going to have on Facet, everything they're going to have surrounding this chain is going to have a certain compliance, right? It's not going to have any usury attached to it. You know, it's going to have a certain compliance, right? So this is going to be, it's going to need to be trusted by those governments because they're going to only want things to have certain compliances. So for Zebec, World Liberty Financial to move like that, it says a lot about them, right? To be able to acquire those compliances. Now, here we have also, guys, shout out to our brother ZBCN man for this. He says, did anyone catch this? Zebec sliding into Telcoin's post? That's not random. If you understand interoperability, you'll understand what they could be building here, right? And he goes into like an explanation of how this goes. But we've been talking about Telcoin. Definitely go give him a like and subscribe, and definitely go read the whole post here, guys. Telcoin, we've been talking about that for years on my channel. We've been talking about Telcoin for quite a few years on here. If you're new, you might not know it because I haven't talked about it too much lately. But Telcoin is actually one of the first blockchain-based banks in the US, right? They have the stablecoin called EUSD. It's live on Base and Solana now. Okay, so what that tells me is that Telcoin has ETH layer 2 capability with Telcoin. And they say as availability grows to 4 chains with more to follow. Right, and then Zebec comments right underneath, adoption ready. And what happened in one of the last spaces where Simon spoke, he told us that they were going to get connected with more regulated stablecoins. Well, on my last episode, I talked about them getting connected possibly with USAT, Tether's regulated stablecoin, but maybe also they can get connected with EUSD, Telcoin's regulated stablecoin. So let me get out the spaces in which Simon says, hey, be on the lookout. We will be connected with more regulated stablecoins very soon. Let's go ahead and set the reminder for this. But then let's go and open that spaces and play this for you really quickly. Okay. It connects also World Liberty Financial. So there's a little gap in a space where Simon can't be heard. There's nothing I can do about that. It just happened that Simon couldn't be heard, but he comes back and he clarifies.
Dash, all he as ever is
stablecoin payroll provider for their US
financial. What's happening?
A number of partnerships and integrations from the different companies that we've met. And I'm really excited to see how the next few months play out.
Amazing. Before we get into that a little bit more, I also saw some news with World Liberty Financial. What's happening there?
Yes, that was really exciting news for all of us. We've been in talks with World Liberty Financial for a while now, and they went ahead and selected Zebec Network as their preferred stablecoin payroll provider for their USD1 stablecoin. So this is an enormous validation for us and our technology and everything that we've built in the markets. You're going to see USD1 coming to Zebec cards very soon, followed by payroll streaming with USD1, and eventually a full white label payroll app for the World Liberty ecosystem. So we're super excited.
That's when he went out.
C1 has been one of the fastest. Sorry, did I cut out there?
Only very, very quickly. You said we're super excited, and that was about 2 seconds ago. So go from there.
We're super excited to grow alongside the great guys at World Liberty Financial. It really opens a lot of doors for Zebec. And of course, USD1's been one of the fastest growing stablecoins in the market this year. I think they're just on the cusp of about 5 billion in current circulation. So you're going to see a lot more of these large regulated stablecoins coming to Zebec Network in the coming months.
Amazing. That's incredible.
So you're going to see more of these large regulated stablecoins coming to Zebec in the next couple months. That's what made me think it was USAT, Tether's regulated stablecoin, because it's large, right? But we can also possibly see Telcoin's regulated stablecoin EUSD coming to us as well. Telcoin has been having the backing of Senator in Nebraska. I'm going to forget his name. I think it's I'm going to forget his name. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But if anybody knows, let me know. I'll try to find it really quickly. But here we see here, they got the Telcoin wallet. And Telcoin, like I said, they're a bank. They've been one of the first blockchain banks to be actually officially approved in America for a while now. Okay, so good for them. Telcoin, definitely something that I think long-term Telcoin, having their coins in your pocket might not be a bad idea, not financial advice. But Telcoin also has an app, and they've had it for a long time now, where they do remittances, where you can do remittances on their phone app. You can stake Telcoin. Like, again, it's another app that Zebec can connect to and offer payroll and can connect to like a bank. So it's going to be really interesting to see it coming up here. Let's see. Let's click on the about the company. Revolutionizing finance by integrating blockchain technology, digital banking, and telecommunication. The global presence, they definitely got a global presence. They were one of the first companies to also have an approval by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So they literally operate in BRICS areas and everywhere. Like, you can see this: Mexico, Australia, Lithuania, Tokyo, Japan, Sydney, Australia, Singapore, Norfolk, Nebraska, Los Angeles, Malaysia, another area, Dubai, Senegal, Argentina, India, Hong Kong. Okay. So yeah, Paul Nooner is the CEO. He was college roomies with this congressman. I just can't remember his name. I think it's Mike something. Which you can see here. Officially can announce that their Monetary Authority of Singapore has issued them with a major payment institution license for cross-border money transfer services. Okay, and can't anyone just get these licenses, by the way, guys? So this is huge when you see a company with licenses like these, compliances like these. Like, this is no small feat, right? Let me see here. I almost want to say it's Mike Scott, but I might be wrong about that. Mike Flood. So, Senator Mike Flood and Paul Nooner. Okay, and Mike Flood and Paul Nooner were actually college roomies. Okay, quite a lot of star power in that college dorm, right? In that dorm room. This guy goes on to be a U.S. congressman, and the other guy goes on to CEO one of the biggest telecommunication companies, freaking blockchain bank in the world. So that's pretty impressive. Also check into Telcoin and the IMF. Oh yeah, great information there from ZBCN, man. Let's go. Yeah, Telcoin, they're a pretty good one. They're a pretty good one, guys. Let's see. So yeah, guys, like I said earlier too, can't wait to be on the ZBCN Nation podcast this week. Be really cool to network with these brothers and to offer something to those guys as they offer information to me. Like I said, we have such a giving, loving communication, all of us in the ZBCN community, and it'll be nice. I'll be honored to be on these guys' show. So definitely tune in this Friday as we get together on the ZBCN Nation podcast. Let me go ahead and show their Twitter page. I love it. Now it's funny that ZBCN man shows this clip right here, or this picture, right? Because I straight up did clip something that I should play for you guys right quick. Let's play it right quick.
What did the five fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
Right on cue, bro. You're right on cue with that one, ZBCN man. Love it. What did the five fingers say to the face? Darknesses. Cold-blooded. Oh God, Dave Chappelle. Great role right there from that guy, bro. Shout out to Dave Chappelle out here. uh, we miss the old Dave Chappelle, but the new one's pretty good too, though. You know, I miss the Dave Chappelle show. Dave Chappelle back in the yeah. F your couch. F your couch. I didn't step on Eddie Murphy's couch. 5 seconds later, yeah, I did. I stepped on Eddie Murphy's couch. Oh man, love it. I'm halfway distracted. Let's show you the ZBCN Nation podcast here. Let's get ZBCN Nation up here. There we go. Shout out to the ZBCN Nation, guys. Definitely, they have a Discord, which I yet to join yet. Definitely, you guys should get over and join, though. I'm almost never on my Discord, but I'll go over there to join just to give them the numbers. You know what I mean? So definitely go over there. But really, we want to also get you guys to the podcast, which let's see if we have a video that they have here from the podcast. Yep, let's bring it up. Let's go straight to YouTube, though. Okay, here it is. Definitely go over there and give these brothers a like and subscribe. As a matter of fact, I'll just this is ZBCN Nation podcast. As a matter of fact, I'll even just put the link in the comments. You can give these brothers a like and subscribe. It's brother Off Kryptonian, which we showed earlier. Also, brother ZBCN man. Also, our brother Throbbing Lantern has some funny comments on Twitter. So a lot of members in this group that I definitely appreciate. So yeah, definitely give them a like and subscribe, guys. Get them to 1,000. Okay, that might just be the link to the video, but of course you can go subscribe right afterwards. Yeah, Rick was a bold SOB, bro. Stepping on the man's couch. His white couch, bro, with your dirty ass shoes. How dare you? How
dare you?
Like, honestly, for real, like, how dare you do that to a man's couch? That's just so disrespectful, bro. Christian Perez, what's up, Rue? Gracias por todo. Arizona. Te agradezco, bro. Really appreciate it. Give me a chance to practice to practice my español. Yo necesito practicar más out here. So thank you for that, Christian. I appreciate the chance to practice there. But let's get to the top of the comments, guys. Oh, yeah, you don't want to mess with Greta, bro. You don't want to mess with Greta. But how dare you step on a man's couch like that? How dare you? My boo-roo. What's up, that one guy? Nerky. What's up, yo. Kevin Garrett. What's up, Rue Crew? Let's go. Patreon member in the house. What's up, Riggy? Daniel, what's up? Rara Oliver, what's going on? The homie Rue, hope to bring a hope to the masses. Ooh, shoot. Wow. The homie Rue bringing hope to Damascus. Thank you for that. Hugo loves Monica Long in here. Appreciate you, Hugo. Feeling good about crypto today despite the price action. Been doing a lot of research and I never been more confident in my holdings. I wish everyone a happy bull run in the future. Hopefully you prepare accordingly. Like I saw some stats somewhere where people's sentiments have never been lower on crypto, which I think that was the plan all along by the powers that be. Because like I truly do believe in karma. It's never been easier to buy crypto. And when crypto blasts off, which it will, people are just going to be like, okay, the karma is off the big guys now. Because it's like, look, it was right there for you to buy, right? People, it was right there for you to buy. It's super easy to open up a Coinbase app or Uphold app and just buy something, but you ignored it, right? Just because the sentiment was low didn't mean that you couldn't go over there and buy, right? And with all the stuff that Trump is putting into play, we're showing you right now with World Liberty Financial, right? His own neobank, right? He's creating his own neobank, his own bank where he can process money through USD1. Like, it's going to be over. It's going to be curtains. And we talked about this a little bit in a video that's going to be posted here with me and Rob. But Zebec, if it just makes it back to its all-time high, guys, like let's look at this, right? Zebec's all-time high was 5 cents. And I think I was either talking about this in a coaching call. Shout out to my guys that I do coaching calls with. Or this might have been in our open mic night. Shout out to the open mic night guys as well. But Zebec, if it gets just back to its all-time high, which is 5 cents, like, think about how great that's going to be from here, right? All-time high at April 12th, 2022, 0.0527 cents. Now, if we go to market cap of a, right, and we look at ZBCN with the all-time high of Casper, which was pretty much $5 billion. Well, that's almost a 26x from here, which should be very easy for Zebec to do when you understand that there will always be money flowing through Zebec because there will always be someone in some area of the world getting paid, streaming payroll, okay? Be it Malaysia, be it Europe, be it America, which we all know Zebec's all over those places right now, right? There will always be someone getting paid with these stable coins. And we know with the new tokenomics that it translates the fees right back into ZBCN. There will always be ZBCN flowing, okay? So $5 billion seems like a lot, but it is minuscule compared to the payroll market. I think it was something like 9 trillion is the US market. Like, let's go look that up right quick, because I think I have it in one of my shorts where he said the number. He was talking to the guys at the Stablecoin podcast. Simon Babakani was. Let me see. I think. Okay, here it is. Here it is.
For companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US. That's the first benefit. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And then when you see bank-led consortiums,
11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. So think about that. 11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And I've shown you on here before, and we could bring it right back up again, right? Where NatPay now is the only payroll service provider for FedNow. And Zebec is their partner, which means to me, right? In the US, if you're using payroll, you're probably going to go through Zebec. That's what that implies to me. Well, if this is the only hold on a second. If this is the only payroll provider, then naturally, you have to go through Zebec to get paid in the US. Okay, we're going to bring it up right now. So here it is. Yeah, so Zebec is proud to partner with NatPay, the only payroll processor that lives on FedNow, the U.S. Central Bank, as they bring real-time payments to businesses nationwide through NatPay Now. Real-time payroll is no longer a concept; is being delivered today. So if it's 11 trillion in payroll, right, annually for the U.S., as you can see here, NatPay Now, FedNow, ACH, Swift, then all payroll has to go through them. Okay, but let's just say they're slow turning the spigot on, or getting the whole thing on once the Clarity Act is passed. Like, you know, a lot of people might still need to use ACH, which is why you see Zebec now too hooking up with Nacha, because maybe every company isn't ready to move over yet. They can still use Zebec because Zebec is hooked up with Nacha, right? So, which we'll show you here. We already know they're hooked up with Nacha. So if the company isn't ready for stablecoins, they can still use Zebec and NatPay Now. But just getting 2, 3, hell, just getting 10, just getting 3% of that market gets us well over this 5 billion here with ZBCN. So that's what we're talking about, right? Which puts us back at the all-time high and over. So when we talk about, okay, what's a conservative estimate for ZBCN? 10 cents is even, like 10 cents is really, really conservative when you think about the market. Just the US market is 11 trillion. And this is a global company, and you put in all Unity stablecoin, you put in USD1 and how they're doing all these connections in the UAE. We already know all the money, the oil money that they got with the UAE and others, right? So come on, man. Like we're sitting here on one of the best kept secrets, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but we're sitting on one of the best kept secrets in crypto, in my opinion, right? Yo, what's up, WF Capital Management? Real, definitely the smartest man in crypto. I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate that. I definitely try at least to be the man that breaks down the most in the simplest form to everyone, right? That's always been a goal. And when I talk to different people like Underdog Research Channel, shout out to our brother, and like he said, hey man, you're one of the first channels I watched, and when I saw you, I was like, hey, let me take a crack at this thing. Like that really made me feel like, that really makes me feel like I'm making a difference out here, bro. To inspire somebody like Underdog Research Channel, it's amazing thing. Thanks for the explosion, Rah Oliver. Respect from Kamar Flair. I love the name change, brother. Shout out to you, frequent watcher. Appreciate it. Hugo loves Monica Long. Rob has a hood pass. I heard him use Finna. I heard him use Finna on more than one occasion. True story. You know what? For real, Rob, and that's truly who that guy is too, man. Like, it's not even an air, right? Like, funny story. I got into somebody's car. Like, it was like, it wasn't an Uber, but it was like someone, a coworker, and first time I met him, and like he had some type of like, I don't know, like some rock and roll or some emo sounding song, and he immediately changed that junk to rap. And I looked at him and I was like, whoa, like looked at him. I'm like, you're right. I don't want to hear the emo music, but you didn't have to change it to rap. But hey, I mean, but honestly, this is who Rob actually is, though. Like, bro's really built like that. He really likes rap music and things like that. Bro's that's genuinely the person he is, right? Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Crypto Future. Please make a video about XRP Proton Network. Yes, indeed. Definitely need to make more videos about them. What's up, Pino Q? I know you've frequented the channel, so you know, like, I do videos on them. So shout out.
Accessibility.
If we go back over here to the channel, you'll see that we have the Metallicus playlist, which I need to update because I did recently do a video on Metallicus. Was it a live video? Let's see here. It was a recorded video. So I did recently do a video on Metallicus. There it is. Metallicus news update. We went over a spaces, okay? So definitely we got to get the views up on that. And that's part of the reason why, like, sometimes I don't do as much with the Metallicus videos because they seem to not be getting the views. But you know what I mean? That's not from lack of trying or anything like that. Or it doesn't say anything bad about Metallicus, because Metallicus and Zebec, they definitely like are very synergistic companies in that Metallicus is doing what they're doing and they're onboarding credit unions, and the more credit unions that use stablecoins, the more traffic that Zebec can have, right? So very synergistic with these two companies, Metallicus and Zebec. Big green candles next week, man. I hope so. Like, we got some consolidation here, right? Of course, with the chart. I'm honestly ready for anything at this point, guys. Like, the two big things for me, like I showed you guys, and I said it on a different show here, is we got the vernal equinox, like around March 17th, 18th. And we also have like a couple eclipses coming up. And eclipses tend to move the market. It seems like they move the market as well. We got an eclipse coming up on either, depending on who you talk to, the 16th or the 17th of February. Then we got another eclipse on March 2nd or 3rd. And then we have the vernal equinox when spring comes in around St. Patrick's Day, or, a little bit after. So these are the turning points I'm watching next for the market to see where we go, right? Will we have to wait until later on, like third quarter? Will we have to wait until the Clarity Act is officially passed? Those are another points that we can look at. But one thing I'm pretty darn sure of are, not financial advice. One of the things I'm pretty confident in is all the partnerships we've seen here with Zebec, all the different regulated stablecoins they've hooked up with and latched on to and made a part of what they do. Breaking this all-time high should be easy, right? And I made the show here months ago. I made the show a month ago. Like, how many Zebec would it take for you to be a millionaire? Let me see if I can find that show. I think it was something like, I said 20 million. Like, that seems to be an overestimate now, but yeah, here it is. 9 months ago, Zebec Mastermind Map of Connections, how 20 million ZBCN could make you a millionaire. And this is based on it basically just getting back to its all-time high. We just showed you that kind of here with the market cap of the 5 billion will get it back to the 5 cent mark. Of course, we know market cap is there's a multiplier with market cap. It's not dollar in, dollar out kind of thing. Purely, there is a multiplier there. So, what's up, Light Green, man? I've really learned a lot by watching and listening. I finally purchased my first million Zebec. Can you make a video on Anson Finance partners with Circle on Coinbase, JP Morgan? I can look into them for sure. Let me write them down. I was looking into, shout out to King Pound. I don't know if he's here in the house today, but I was looking into ZEP today. That was one of the ones he was asking me to look into. Haven't done full analysis yet with ZEP, but I'm looking into it. I will also look into Anson Finance. Okay. What's up, Tony S? ZBCN. Zebec is the one. Just track the top wallets, their shifts and accumulation levels. Do it yourself. This is from Mirak. Thomas, thank you for that. Oh, brother King Pound is in the house today. What's up, brother King Pound? What's good? Still looking into ZEP, brother. What's good, everybody? Stack them ZBCN bags. Yes, indeed. What's your prediction for the top this year, Rue, on ZBCN? Well, again, once clarity, whenever clarity kicks in, it depends on how much they're ready for clarity to kick in, right? We know that they're working on the super app right now, right? So they can install the super app whenever they're ready to go with that. And again, software, I'm a software engineer. Software is hard, okay? We do not want them to release the super app early and it's full of bugs and you got to have, you know, this and that update to fix a whole slew of bugs. We don't want that. We want them only to release it when it's ready, right? And on top of that, what can they do with the super app when the clarity has not even passed yet? So once clarity passes, that's when they can really kind of implement streaming payroll for real. So again, until clarity really passes, they can take as long as they want with the super app, to be honest with you, right? Because they can't really implement anything until clarity is done. So the one bright side of that, what I just said, is that clarity has passed the Senate panel. I'll bring that up right now. So we know that clarity's passed the Senate panel. That's really good. So it is slowly getting there. This development marks the first time a crypto market structure legislation is advanced beyond a Senate committee. The next step is for the Senate Banking Committee to hold a hearing on this version of the crypto market structure bill. So we shall see. We shall see, right? I don't know if we wanted to go down there. Eyes open wide 7-7. I think we're okay right where we are right now. But either way, to me, I like, again, I don't care. Not that I don't care, but I think it's going to get to the 5 beyond the all-time high, 10 cents or more. We just kind of did the quick math in our head, right? If it's an $11 trillion payroll market just in the U.S. and this is a global company, then it should crazily just go past that, right? And as a matter of fact, what did our guy Ghost ask Grok about this? He said, where do you see ZBCN at the end of the year? And it gave him like $1.50. Man, I could completely see that. I could completely see that if, say, clarity is passed, the super app is ready, they install it in Facet, they install it in World Liberty Financial, any app they have going on, they install it in Telcoin, they install it in their super app, they install it in Uphold's app, where streaming payroll can happen on all these apps, including their own super app. It's on. Then it's just on, right? All the people in all these different places, and they install it in all Unity, wherever whoever's out there with all Unity, whatever app they want to use. They want to use Revolut. They want to use Zebec super app. Either or, it's on. Like it's straight on. Let's see. So let me see if I can find that post from Ghost. My typing keeps getting away from me here. Gronk. Zebec. Nice. Okay, let me see. See if we can find it. Okay, I think you used the word replace. Nope. I could try to scroll and find it, but he does a lot of posts a day. We can try to scroll and find it. We're doing it live here. Doing it live. So let's see if we can find that price. And thank you, brother, for sharing my posts. Really appreciate it. Again, like I said, we got a real sharing community out here with Zebec, man. Like, I know they have like a sharing community in XRP land too, but I'm really starting to think Zebec community, we might have passed them up, man, for real, with the guys we have in our community. Let's see here. Oh. We'll get there. Ooh, this is a good one too. Again, from our brother Off Kryptonian. Let's listen to this right quick. From Jim Breyer, who was following that shake, right? Jim Breyer was following him.
Benefited from the mutual partnership that they've had.
The Circle's mission statement is raise global economic prosperity through frictionless exchange of value. So how exactly will global economic prosperity be raised?
Again, on the international payments that you mentioned, if I'm a farmer in India and I want to get paid quickly for my crops by a local bank or a medium-sized bank in India or a financial institution elsewhere, perfect example, you're going to do it through what would be stable coins and payments in and around the blockchain.
So to lower the cost of transactions that are already happening, essentially.
Lower the cost dramatically, but speed dramatically. So again, what's broken globally in many cases is it just takes so darn long to get paid. And it takes so darn long in the world of even healthcare globally, but in the United States, to get reimbursements from insurance companies and providers. And so that's where the blockchain, I think, will be fundamental. And again, stable coins and their role on top of the blockchain to enable faster, instantaneous approvals as well as payments is what will make a fundamental difference.
So it's less banking the unbanked and more facilitating transactions among existing businesses.
That's my belief.
Okay. You've got
So that, right, And I'll just go back to remind you, show you here. Zebec's list of investors. Brayer Capital is one of the lead investors. Okay. He is also a lead investor in Circle, and Circle is a tier 1 investor in Zebec. Okay. So literally you could say he's kind of double invested in Zebec, if you would. Okay. But let's come back over here. And see if we can find that post right quick. This time I'll bookmark it. Okay, there it is. Let me bookmark it right quick. Hey Grok, edit this image with the maximum price ZBCN will reach in 2026. And it says 150. Right? Gotta love that. Right? And just from what we said, right? $11 trillion payroll market in the US alone, but we know it's a global payroll company. Gotta love that. Brother Ruel, always bringing in the goods as always. Appreciate it. Hello, Rue Crew. What's up, Hammer DN308? Who? Wait, what's that? Go Market. What's up, brother? 314 Crypto dropping in, dropping the heat, brother. Appreciate it. The guy above him is the king of UAE. Okay, did we we're talking about for Sheikh Talnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Okay, interesting. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, yeah. So, and when you think about this, and Zebec is in the room rubbing elbows with all of these players, man. And we already know Donald Trump's he's going to get his, right? He's the president. He can direct money whichever way he wants, pretty much, right? You got to be really excited for that as a Zebec investor. Oh, Nayans are the royal family of the UAE. Thank you, Gomes. Been a while, brother. What's up? Where do you see ZBC and the XPR going by 8/26 price wise? Again, it all depend on when we get the Clarity Act. What ends up happening here with with these eclipses and whatnot. When is Trump going to release stimulus or dividend packages, right? So we got a lot of things coming up here action wise. Will Jeffrey Epstein and his involvement, even though he really didn't have any involvement, is that going to affect Bitcoin? Let's get into that a little bit. So I was talking to a guy, shout out to Brunswick, you know who you are, who I really trust, who was a Bitcoin maxi, who would know. And he was like, basically he said, yeah, he's a little involved, but not really. And he went to tell me, basically what happened. And what basically happened is, so there's a company called Blockstream, right? Blockstream does all coding for Bitcoin. And Blockstream had a person that shared an investor with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, I didn't mean to say his name. But this person shared an investor with him, and here it is. Basically, this guy explains it. Adam Back, he's the leader of Blockstream, right? He basically created the Lightning Network. Okay, so this is one of the guys. Has he allegedly or not allegedly, maybe possibly been to Epstein Island? Maybe, possibly, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. But this is what he says. In 2014, during Blockstream's seed round investor roadshow, the company was introduced to then MIT Media Lab director Joy Ito. Subsequently, Blockstream met with Jeffrey E., who was later described at the time as a limited partner in Ito's fund. That fund later invested a minority stake in Blockstream. A few months later, Ito's fund divested its Blockstream shares due to a potential conflict of interest and other concerns. Blockstream has no direct nor indirect financial connection with Jeffrey E. or his estate. So at some point in time, a company in which Mr. E had some financial connection to had some part of Blockstream, but that was divested and they no longer have any connection to Mr. E. So, you guys didn't see that. So is he involved? So was he involved at one point in time for a hot minute? And I'll reread this, okay? This is Adam Back, a guy who might have possibly, allegedly, maybe not, been to the island, maybe, possibly not. Who knows? But he is CEO of Blockstream, right? He's CEO of Blockstream. And we know Blockstream does the Lightning Network. This is what he says in his words from February 1st, 2026. During 2014, during Blockstream's seed round, investor roadshow, the company was introduced to then MIT Media Lab director Joy Ito. Subsequently, Blockstream met with Jeffrey E., who was described at the time as a limited partner in Ito's fund. That fund later invested a minority stake in Blockstream. A few months later, Ito's fund divested its Blockstream shares due to potential conflict of interest and other concerns. Blockstream has no direct nor indirect financial connection with Jeffrey E. or his estate. So, I don't know. I think that's enough to put it to bed. But we all know that truth and agreement and opinion are some crazy things. It could be true what Adam Back is saying, but if all the people agree or have the opinion that, well, Jeffrey's a part of Bitcoin, then that's what people are gonna, that's what people are gonna think, even though that may be totally and completely untrue. But if what Adam Pack is saying here is true, then he has no involvement with them anymore. And the involvement that he may have had was momentary, a couple months, if that. Okay, so very, very interesting there. Okay, peace, fam. B-Dale, salute. What's up, William Mack? 5747. Appreciate you, brother. Salute, Rue. Appreciate it, brother. Phantom Beat. Zebec, XDB, World Liberty. Let's ride. Yeah, my man. That's another clip I need to download, bro. I need a my man clip. Okay, we need that. We need that. Let's continue. What's up, brother, man? What's up, Dave F. Jr.? Yep, Gomes got it. Sharia filters and stuff, all in one app for them, one phone. Yeah, so these areas, they have different type of laws for facet and these different companies in which it's very strict when it comes to certain money requirements like usury and different things like that. So to have Zebec, World Liberty Financial in these areas, you know what I mean? It really says something, and this is something good, to be honest with you, because you know, the strict laws that they have on money, no usury, and usury is usually the thing that really f's up people, right? This is what usually gets people really bad, usury and betting. And I don't think they have any sports betting over there either. So these apps, it's probably necessary for these guys to create their own apps, because they're not going to have any gambling on their apps. They're not going to have any usury. You know, their apps are going to be, you know, free from all of that stuff. What's up, man? Looking forward to having you on ZBC Nation podcast this week. What's up, ZBCN, man? Can't wait to be on Zebec Nation podcast, brother. Shout out to you. Hitter all day. Ruel, what's up, fam? What's up, Anthony? 8856 2. Triple fire. I've even gone back to getting VChain and VTOR again, typing up on older projects too before this next run up. He said, "What? That's what's up. What's up, conflict? Is that conflict? I'm gonna say conflict. What's up? Ricketts or Fisher? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean there, ZBCN man. What's up, my guy Joey in the house? Rue all day. Let's go. Fam, what's good? Here from work, ready for ZBCN news. What's up, E? He's our moderator in Telegram. Let's go. Conflict says you're asking me. I'm not sure what's going on in chat over here. Also check into Telcoin and IMF. Yeah, let me write that down. Telcoin and IMF. All right. Oh, and E put in the Zebec Nation podcast in the chat. Thank you, brother E. Appreciate that, brother. Share those guys' information. Yeah, we got it to the Rick James. I'm at the Rick James portion of the comments. F your couch. Darknesses. That was cold-blooded. The Prince one too was a hilarious one, bro. We might have to steal a clip from that too, man. Yeah, Rick was a bold SOB. Rest in peace to Rick James. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, Charlie Murphy. Yes, indeed. Yeah, my brother Christian Perez. What's up, Ruth Gracias para todo or por todo? Appreciate it. Let's see here. Patriot Party in the house. Let's go. Bro. It's okay. You got Bad Bunny to teach you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Not with the Bad Bunnies. Not with the Bad Bunnies here, guys. What's up, Anthony? And thank you, brother, for sharing ZBCN's X. Onyx Poseidon, what up, my man? Appreciate you. I never get any alerts. I know that's how it be sometimes with the channel, man. I don't know why they do that to my alerts, man. But yeah, share the channel around, guys. We're trying to get to 10K subscribers out here, guys. Let's see where we're at right now. 9,152. Gotta love that, though. Gotta love that. Let's give the ZBCN short one more play here. Okay. Let's get back to it here. Um, let's see here where we leave off. This is the best time to buy when people are scared and mad. Yes, indeed, it is. It is the best time to buy when people are here fearful. And I think we reached like maximum fear. I was watching something yesterday where they were like, "This is the most oversold we've been in history." So that this last crash we had was the most oversold in history. So I'm pretty sure we're done. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm pretty sure we're done unless there's like this epic black swan like you see, right? Like again, like I just said, if they agree to say that Mr. E, not E in the chat, but Mr. Jeffrey E was a part of Bitcoin, even though this guy Adam Pack says it's not true. You know, he should know. He's the CEO of Blockstream. So, you know, then maybe we go lower. But as far as chart wise, this should be it. This is yep. Rue, tell it, my brother. What's up, JSK? Shout out to brother JSK, another great member of the community. Let's share his X. Definitely give brother JSK a follow, guys. Cheers. Some very funny posts and some ZBCN stuff as well. Appreciate it, brother. Very faithful ZBCN guy. New Manlord 4052. Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. The old Warren Buffett quote. Yes, indeed. Please remember my wife ran away with my best friend. I miss him. Love the comedy there. 100%, bro. 100%, bro. You just can't replace a best friend. I'm telling you, bro. It's like for real, bro. I understand what you're saying. That's so funny, bro. Trill, 11 Trill, that's crazy. Yep, OG Crypto. How is it the token incorporated with payroll to the point of creating scarcity? What's up, Flint man or Flint fan? Okay. I'm not sure what you're saying there. I read it over, but I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. What's up, OG Crypto? And Germany is going to use Zebec too? Exactly. We already know with the All Unity stablecoin that Deutsche Bank has it as the global payroll partner there. We know this, right? Like, let's just go to Zebec and we can see that again. So we already know this is just a global payroll coin, right? And they have all the compliances, all the different things to say that, you know, they have pretty much no competition in this space, right? I don't know why it's acting so crazy. Stuff that I usually am able to search on here is not being found. Okay, let me see. Sorry, you just put in All Unity and you usually can find it. Did I spell it? I don't think so. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, no, we can go to, I think, my bookmarks, and I can just find it easier. Or not. How about this? All Unity. Found it here for Tempo, but of course we know they're related to Tempo as well. Yeah, for whatever reason, searching Zebec HQ, I can't find it. We can scroll and find it, and I'll bookmark it for the umpteenth time. Doing it live again here. Scroll down, shouldn't take too long. We'll get there. Wasn't too long ago. But isn't this nice that they give us this much from news daily? Like, you know, shout out to XCN. Like, it's not a hate on them, but XCN doesn't give nearly as much news as Zebec gives on a daily basis. So shout out to Zebec for always being upfront with us with the news. Okay, we're almost there. If I didn't pass it. Yeah, we're almost there. There it is. So for some reason it wasn't bookmarked. Deutsche Bank, all you need stablecoin, selects Zebec as a global payroll partner. Okay, huge. Nacho Pay makes me feel hungry. 100%. 100%. I wish I had some nachos right now. That would be amazing. And I am now instantly hungry. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. OG Crypto, how dare you, bro?
How dare you?
I was totally fine until you mentioned nachos, bro. I was totally fine until you mentioned nachos. Oh man. Thank you for the faithful $10 super chat, Daniel. I see it down there. We'll get to that for sure. Thank you again, Daniel, for that. There's a bug on X where I have to click the latest just to show the post when you search them on the profile. Just a heads up. Okay, thank you for that very good video. Peter all day, Pinot Q, what's up, brother? I've been stacking metal. Blockchain starting to add more to my fat bag. Buying more tonight to add to my fat bag. Yes, indeed. Serious question: is the USA dollar somehow no longer the main currency of our planet? Where does that put our investments? Okay, so this is a tricky question. OG Crypto. Let me go back to my bookmarks here. So this is why every asset in the world is kind of going up, because they're kind of almost anticipating the fall of the dollar. In that, we go over here and look, right? Saudi Arabia's 50-year petrodollar agreement with the U.S. has expired. With no new agreement in place, Saudi Arabia will now sell oil in multiple currencies, including Chinese internal dollar, which is RMB, euros, yen, and yuan, instead of exclusively in U.S. dollars. Okay, so, but is the U.S. dollar still more powerful than most other currencies? Yes. However, it being powered by the petrol, powered by the oil, this is no longer true. Okay. Again, we see the world's major stablecoin companies still denominate in US dollars. And then you see, like Jeremy Allaire said, we'll bring up that right quick here. I think it's important to see what he said here. Let me see if I can find it here. Because other countries like in the UAE, like in Turkey, they still want to use the American dollar. It's better for them to get paid in dollars. They would like to use the dollar. Okay, so yeah, let's bring that up right quick. Let me see if this is the spot. Let me find where he said about Turkey. Okay. Okay, so let's listen to this from Jeremy Allaire.
Regulated stablecoin network in the world for handling stablecoins and storing and moving them all around the internet.
Well, why do I need a stablecoin? I've been using banks for years. What's wrong with my banks? If I want to send money to Istanbul, I just tell the bank, wire the money. What's wrong with that system?
Well, if you talk to anyone who's trying to move money to Istanbul, it actually turns out it's very time consuming, very slow. There's a lot of barriers. There tends to be excessive fees. Sometimes it gets lost. And in fact, Turkey is a great example because in Turkey, there's extraordinary demand for USDC and stablecoins right now, because in a place like Turkey, people want dollars. They don't want lira. They want digital dollars that they can just use from their mobile phones, that they can, just like you can make a peer-to-peer phone call with someone, it doesn't cost you anything. People and businesses have figured out in Turkey, just as one example, that they can transact with each other directly without an intermediary instantly with virtually no cost. And so it's actually becoming a substitute for banking. And in fact, the nice thing about stablecoins, especially well-regulated, well-run stablecoins, is they're very safe because they don't actually lend the money or take risk with the money. They just are holding it in these ultra-safe instruments. So holders of these are saying, wow, this is a super safe digital dollar that I can use just like I can use WhatsApp or use like the internet as a whole.
Well, so this is a great point, and immigrants have figured this out about the dollar a long time ago, right? Anyone who maybe they've immigrated to the U.S. and they're Arab or they're Latino or Filipino or whatever, right? They want to send American dollars home to their family, right? Because the American dollar has such strength everywhere else in the world. As much as America has its faults, we as Americans, like we have a huge advantage with having the American dollar. So Jeremy Allaire just said it, and remember, Circle, I just showed you the investors, right? They are also invested in Zebec, okay? And one of their investors, Jim Breyer, is also invested in Zebec. So it's just like, a member of Zebec talking there almost, right? Or someone who's heavily invested in Zebec's success is talking there, right? Because he has a piece of Zebec. Circle has a piece of Zebec. So he just said, well, people in Turkey, they want to spend dollars, not their currency, and they want to spend it like we do here in America. They just want to use a phone and tap and spend their dollars. And what they found is that if they have their phone, they still feel like it's safe on the phone, right? And they don't have to worry too much. They can just tap and spend $1 just like they had a paper dollar in their hand, okay? So this is really what things like Zebec are bringing. And to answer your question, OG Crypto, the roundabout answer is the US dollar, will it lose some power? Yes, but it's probably still going to be the main currency used on the planet. And things like Zebec and these super apps are going to bring a lot more liquidity to the dollar. Okay. And again, we can go to our brother Creative Control. One of the things that he had when he was talking about David Sachs, right? Being an investor in Zebec. That's one of the things that David Sachs mentioned, is that, hey, this new system we're building is going to bring more liquidity to the dollar. Little did we even know at this point in time that Donald Trump, who's standing right next to him, was getting ready to create his own stablecoin in USD1, right? So we do understand, okay, just by Trump having his own fingers in this business, that it's going to be very lucrative. And by the way, David Sachs is an investor in Zebec, by the way, but let's listen to this.
It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend US dollar dominance, like you said, globally by creating a digital dollar. It will update.
So it's going to extend the US dominance globally by creating this digital dollar. Multiple digital dollars. EUSD, USD1, USDA, or USAT, Tether's regulated stablecoin. Of course, we know USDC, Circles, right? Ripple's RLUSD, okay, which is going to create a lot more liquidity for the dollar. Let's play it one more time.
Update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend US dollar dominance, like you said, globally by creating a digital dollar.
So creating this digital dollar by upgrading the payment rails, Zebec, right? Zebec. Once these payment rails are upgraded, someone in Istanbul, i.e. Turkey, can have a Zebec app on their phone and just scan using digital dollars, right? This is exactly everything we want as a investor in Zebec, right? How would their value be estimated? Are we going back to gold standard? Well, I think this is why we're seeing all of these different commodities being picked up. One of the reasons why, of course, is that they have a need for these precious metals for these data centers. The other is they're probably going to need it to back some of these cryptocurrencies, like the XRPs of the world, the, you know, Ethereums of the world, the Bitcoins of the world, you know. So like one of the things I'm very shocked in seeing, shout out to the Patreon people, we were talking about this in the open mic night, Tether is one of the largest holders of not only US treasuries, but of gold as well. So yeah, that's what that is. So maybe we see the unregulated portion of Tether fall, but that USAT, that's going to stay right where it is, right? And Trump is lining it up himself with his boy Bo Hines, right? They used to be part of Trump's crypto council. Trump is lining this stuff up right now. Okay. White House Executive Council Crypto, our former White House Crypto Council Executive Director, Bo Hines, is now the CEO of Tether USAT. Okay. And there's a lot of Zebec connections here. I would not be surprised if we hear USAT being announced as a coin that works on Zebec. SHX has been super quiet since Davos. Any news you're aware of? None. They have been quiet. They were there. And what's up, Rick's 2099? They were there. Tammy Camp says that was her first one. But you know, since then they have not said much. Everything's in place for Stronghold to do what it does as kind of like the middleman, the translator. Zebec is going to translate as far as the payroll goes, but Stronghold is going to translate everything else. Okay, so anything that the banks are doing, right, it's probably going to go through Stronghold. So again, what that says to me is we're really on hold and waiting for this Clarity Act. Will everything pop off the moment that the Clarity Act signed and we see everything go from zero to hero? I don't know. I can't say, but I do think that it is a very important piece for these ISO cryptos or ISO adjacent cryptos, right, to move to the next step. What's up, Rue? What's up, Corey Williams? I see you joined the nation. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely a part of the nation as far as like, I support all those brothers, man. ZBCN, man, and all of them have been sharing information to me. We've been chatting on X since day one, man. I really appreciate all the brothers over there, for sure. That one guy, 150, where my dog's at? Yeah, yes indeed. With the DMX, shout out to DMX. Yeah. Shout out to DMX. I might have to get the DMX bark too over here, man. Just I could just hit my stacking my goals at this rate, but I'm just getting greedy at this point. Appreciate you, no problem. Good to see you again, Rue. Today I'm late. I've been busy today, no problem. Hey, at least you're here. What's up, Ghost? Shout out to our brother Ghost in the house. Appreciate the shout out, my brother. Great content as always. Appreciate you, brother, man. Thanks for being in the house, Ghost. Appreciate you, brother. Phantom Beat, hitter, hey. Bro, you know way too much to pretend you don't know that Zebec's payroll technology doesn't use Zebec coin. Public purchasing is the only thing fluctuating price. Well, if you look at the new tokenomics they brought out, let's pop that up right quick. They tell us right here in their new tokenomics, right? Primary utility of ZBCN is settle fees required for employers to use Zebec's payroll and disbursement products. Institutional clients and employers using Zebec's payroll platform are required to pay service and product fees in ZBCN. Employers may hold it directly or use stablecoin balances, which are automatically converted into ZBCN at the time fees are assessed. So again, when you think about this and how that works, it really kind of almost says to me that Zebec might be a part of this interledger protocol, right? Because it's just automatically converted once the fees are converted. And if you could almost think of all of these stable coins as one stable coin, because they all need to go back to the central bank, more or less, they all require approval from the central bank. That's one of the things that we showed you from Cybos. One of the guys from Cybos kind of let that slip, that all of these stable coins require like central bank approval. So essentially, if that's true, like they're almost all the stable coin, all the same stable coin. But the central bank says, okay, well, we trust you enough as an entity. We think you're good for it, so we'll let you have a stable coin. So again, this says to me that any stable coin that's using payroll, right, they're going to automatically deduct these fees from it, right? This mechanism creates ongoing usage-driven demand for ZBCN tied directly directly tied to payroll volume and enterprise adoption. So it's right there in the tokenomics, okay, the brand new tokenomics. And then when you think about what went on with Fireblocks, this makes a lot of sense. Shout out to my guy Maximus Crypto in the space. Max has been over what Fireblocks does. Fireblocks connection to Canton, Fireblocks connection to Quant. So Fireblocks went and purchased 250 million Zebec. So for them, they might choose to directly cover their fees with Zebec, but also I think they might just hold on to it, because if you scroll down here, any Zebec investment protocol or proposals that they do, subject to a 24-hour, 7-day voting period, they're going to want entities that like Zebec, or entities that are in league with Zebec, to hold a certain amount of Zebec, right? To make these proposals and to have votes go the way they want, more or less, but kind of decentralized, but not really, if you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. So what you're saying is just not true when you look at their tokenomics. Any questions on it? It's just not true. Want to see Zebec and Swift C hook up? I pretty much believe that they're hooked up already. Let's see here. So Phantom, that's a good point. Pops, what's your response, Ruo? Hey, I just gave the point right there. It's in the new white paper. It's right there. It's right there in the new tokenomics. So, and it makes sense to what other conversations I've had with different people, like Mr. Spader, 007. It's kind of it's built into the protocol that they need Zebec, right? This is some of the things that he was alluding to. And when they changed the tokenomics, it now began to make sense why companies like Fireblocks made the moves that they did to scoop up 250 million Zebec. Okay, so any answer from you there, Pop's journey back? Face facts 1160 UBI. One second here, guys. Quite a lot of messages here. Some messages from my son Isa and my daughter Moonlight. Shout out to my kids. Let's see here. Maybe, let's see. Yeah, UBI. I could see UBI. Especially if they did something where they automatically sent UBI into some paychecks or something like that. This would save so much money, right? Like they just did it at the Fed Now level, right? And I just showed you here that the NatPay is the only payroll processor of Fed Now. If they wanted to release like UBI or like stimulus or dividend checks at that level, it would be so easy for them, and they would save millions of dollars in issuing the checks and having somebody double check and triple check. It's already there with the Fed Now, like who you are, and they already know who you are. They might as well just let them directly send it to you. Can you ask HBar's future price calibration? Okay, let's see that. Okay, for the I see what you're saying for the market cap of a. Okay, so let's do, well, I already know the H bars. Okay, so you wanted ZBCN, but you want it with H bars market cap. At an all-time high. Okay, at an all-time high with H bars market cap, puts it around 15 cents. Like, I can almost see it being 18 cents. Shout out to one of the coaching calls. I was doing a coaching call with somebody, and we were like 18 cents because there's a whole bunch of nines around Zebec, right? Like if we go over here to Zebec, and when they actually ICO'd, they ICO'd on the Ides of March, which is 3/15, right? That's a very, very important date in history, a very, very esoterically important day. That's it right here. So March 15th, 2022 is when they ICO'd, and that was at 2 cents. Okay. So very, very interesting here coming up. Will be interesting to see what happens on the Ides of March. There always seems to be something that happens on the Ides of March in the crypto world. We shall see what happens there. Real, does ZBCN use the native traded tokens in app processing? I'm not sure what you mean there. I think as far as like when it comes to payroll, they use what we just saw there. But on the app, you will be able to do things like staking and different things like that. They just showed us that in a commercial. Let's see if I can bring that commercial up right quick. And let me close some windows here. So yeah, let me bring up this commercial. We'll try not to play the music. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. We got the commercial here. Again, we'll try not to play the music. So overview staking card. Let's let it play again. Overview staking card stream. So for payroll. So payroll cards, staking, streaming, and more. And I also think they'll be doing taxes and things like that eventually too. But that's just a speculation on my part. I haven't heard anything. Shouldn't there be a more of a decoupling from Bitcoin soon? There might be. There might be a decoupling from Bitcoin at some point for the ISO coins, I believe, eventually, like the Ethereums and the XRPs and stuff like that. And ISO adjacent things like Zebec. I do definitely think there will be a decoupling from Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is its own store of value, and it really doesn't have anything to do exactly with what the ISOs are doing. So I could see the ISOs decoupling from it because, you know, the ISOs tend to be more banker focused. But it's very clear that the bankers and the big time players are also in on Bitcoin because we got, you know, Fidelity, BlackRock, Grayscale, ETFs and things like that out here right now too. So that's going to make it a little harder for pause for it to kind of completely decouple. But yeah, dodge bullets have consequences. I thought it would have been the last cycle. I'm not sure what you mean by dodge bullets. I thought there would be a decoupling of BTC last cycle. It's only a logical occurrence. Yeah, you would have thought that, but again, I think because all the laws are not fully in place, that decoupling hasn't happened yet. It's probably really interesting to think about it, in that Bitcoin dominance, everybody's looking at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance might not matter much because once they get all these laws in place that allow things like Zebec, like the Clarity Act, like allow Zebec to work, the Bitcoin dominance is going to go down, but not because of Bitcoin's price. It's going to go down because the price of every other coin is going up in relation, has no relation to Bitcoin going up. They're going up just because they're getting more use and they're getting more volume on their network. Now that's why it makes a lot more sense that they're going to decouple, because we might see that they rise totally independent of Bitcoin because they have all this volume flowing through their network because, well, the Clarity Act passed now. So, hey, so now everybody can use the payroll system, the streaming payroll system. It gets caught on to by more services, not just nurses. We got truckers, we got Uber drivers, we got everybody using it. And just because there's all this much more volume on Zebec's network, Zebec ends up floating itself into the top 50. And it had nothing to do with Bitcoin or Bitcoin going up. It had to do with the Clarity Act being passed. Jobless claims better than expected, adding 130K than 55K expected. True inflation is 74.74. CPI 830 Friday Eastern. Anything lower than 2.5 will be massively bullish. BlackRock buying Uniswap tokens for governance and buying heavy. Goldman Sachs selling BTC, ETH, and buying XRP and Solana. Ooh, that's an interesting thought there, Christopher Offutt. The interesting part is, though, I know that XRP and ETH are kind of linked at the hip. So I could see Goldman selling some BTC, but I could see them buying ETH, XRP, and Solana, though. So I don't know what I was looking at, but they were saying it was something on Ripple's site where Ripple said, hey, we're used by the XRP ledger and Ethereum. And I was like, wait, this is the XRP site and you're regularly admitting that you work with Ethereum. But, it's all us, like I said, like the truth, there's the truth and what people agree upon. Right? They're not always the same thing. Sometimes what people agree upon is not the truth. And people always agree upon, oh, well, Swift chose Ethereum or XRP is this and Ethereum's not that. And really, we know these guys are working together. We know these guys are teamed up together. Right? But, just how it is. Then you saw Thomas Park's question. If there's one push for AI and over time AI reduces employment and payroll, would Zebec eventually come obsolete? That's a pretty good question. Well, I think people are always going to have to get paid. There will never be a point in where AI is doing everything. People still need to be governed. There still need to be politicians. There still needs to be military. I don't think that people are to the point. Maybe at some point they get to a point where they trust AI military, but I sincerely doubt it. AI policemen, I seriously doubt it. So there are things that, certain manual labor, picking things, repairing a car, like, I don't think you can take the man out of the loop, like, or take all the way the jobs and AI does everything. But I think if you look at where we are socially, between like men, women, and different races, everybody hates each other anyway. So the population is lowering. Like we're doing a great job of lowering the proper population all by ourselves. like I was talking to my daughter, and one of the things that really shocked me is she said that these young my daughter's 16, right? She'll be 17 here on Valentine's Day. My little Valentine's Day girl. One of the things she said that shocked the crap out of me is that she said, "Oh, boys today, they say that they like the lady boys, like, but they're not like, you know, they don't believe in dating men, right? They don't believe in dating men, if you know what I mean. But they like lady boys." And I was so confused. I was so like confused about that comment. But I think we're at a point in time where, and you can, and there are even statistics to prove this, right? Where people are having less children than they've ever had. So AI is going to just soak up the jobs where a lot of people, there are not a lot of people being born anyway. So yeah, that's kind of my answer to that. But at some point, I do think we will reach a point in time where, but not in our lifetime. Not something where we're like, oh, I'm not investing in Zebec because, you know, payroll will be obsolete and like, you know, I mean, no, like people are gonna get paid for a long time before that happens. Long time. Keep in mind where we go from here. Bitcoin Sharp ratio needs to come down just a little bit more. Bitcoin realized value 55K, rebalance price 40K, and hoping for any bottom over 58. Okay, yeah. So I really hope we don't get down to 40K. I sincerely hope we don't. Like I said, I was looking at something yesterday where it was like we're the most oversold in history. I would like to believe we don't go too much further than what you're saying there, 55K. I really hope we don't go too much further than that. And that gives us a little bit of more, like if we look at if we bring up the chart here, this gives us some consolidation in like this area, like in that exactly where that golden line is, and that would be like, okay, no more than that. No more than that, and then we can pick back up, right? So if we're looking at, I know I got a lot of noise on this chart, but we're looking at the week chart, we're looking at the 2-week chart, 3-week chart, like every one of them is like, and you look at the RSIs, we're pretty far down. Like to go further down would be madness. It would be absolute madness. Like, gotta believe it's already kind of locked in. Even on the monthly, we're pretty far down there. Like, as far as the stochastic's concerned, I guess on the regular RSI, we could go down further. Let's look at the 3-month. Okay, I don't know how the 3-month chart works, but every other one, we're pretty far down here. So on the RSIs, I should say. So we gotta believe that it's pretty much over. Maybe we drop to like 55K, but no mas. No mas. Okay, guys, no mas. What's up, What's up, Benjamin Awakened, Patreon member in the house. What a Rue, yo. Our guy Ghost reposted the stream. Appreciate it, brother. Christopher Offord. Also keep in mind that when ZBCN rolls, it can and has done opposite of BTC. We are in serious uncertainty. AJ could be a callus on the foot of crypto. AI could be a callus on the foot of crypto just for the short term, then boom. No, actually, I think AI could be a driver for crypto, in that when you think about X402 and how agentic AI works. Again, we talked about it a little bit here before when we were talking about Canton and this company called, I think it was Aeon, okay? The omni-chain payment and settlement layer for the AI economy. Shout out to Shook Focus Digital. We were talking about some of this in the Patreon open mic night, right? I won't disclose some of the conversation that we have in there, guys. You definitely need to join the Patreon. But I could say this, but like this X402 allowing AI to conduct payments, it's going to hypercharge all of this, right? So can you imagine AI now for a company having to conduct payment, and they're conducting payment back and forth with these different AIs to do a certain task? That's gonna like supercharge payments. Supercharge it. Okay. And this is something that the institutions are going to be doing way before retail even plays with it. So it's really going to supercharge payments, maybe even payroll, right? I don't know if there's an X402 purpose for payroll, like agentic AI. You think it was like, you're telling this AI to respond to certain events as a stimuli, but could you then say, okay, well, agentic AI, pay by the second, and that's the stimuli event that you're using this X402 for. So the AI is what's paying you by the second. And then, okay, as an institution, you say, okay, well, the moment you get that payment, go invest here or there. Like there's so many different applications that you can think of for it, and we definitely did mention one in the Patreon. But yeah, I think AI will supercharge payroll and payments. Game blouses. Yes indeed. I got $20 daily buys on ZBCN on Kraken. Got to love that. Shout out to Kraken. OG Crypto or ZBCN turns into UBI because AI takes over all the jobs. Like, this is way too far out in the future, guys. Like, just think about everybody getting paid real-time payroll first. Like, you guys are way out to there, right? Like, AI taking over all the jobs. We are not even there yet. Like, I understand that people are getting laid off. People are losing jobs to AI. I get it. I get that. And that's real, and that's happening now. But you're saying AI is taking over all the jobs even before people are getting real-time payroll. Let people get real-time payroll first. Like, that's way out in the future to like, once we get real-time payroll, like, then we can like kind of have that discussion. But like, then what even is the price of ZBCN? Maybe it's what Ghost was saying, $1.50 by the end of the year, right? But AI taking all the jobs, that's not happening right now as we speak. As far as like, okay, they're truckers, they're welders, they're like You know, even if you say they take over some white collar jobs like coding, like I do, right? There's still hands-on jobs that AI cannot do right now yet. Like, I'm not having AI teach my kids. I'm just not doing it. I want to be sure that the teacher is teaching my kids, and I want to know what they're teaching them. And then there's some stuff that the teacher is not going to teach in the book that I'm going to teach the kids. There's that too. But yeah, well, that's way down in the future, right? Way in the future. Way in the future. Derek Walker, fire. I don't really want to live like a communist. Zebec is the best chess move in crypto. Magic hat, 100%. What up, Rue? I'm faithful till the end. Does Rue even read the chat here? Yeah, I always read the chat, bro, man. Thomas Sparks. You might be new here, brother, but I hope you like and subscribe. Yeah, I always read the chat. I don't follow or listen to Bad Bunny, but he did some but he got some K-Dot similarities. He put Villa Tacos from Highland 15 minutes away from my home. Wise Boxers is one of them. Fernando Vargas Jr. Oh, Fernando Vargas Jr. was a sweet boxer back in the day, bro. Fernando Vargas Jr. Is he still alive? I thought he died. Fernando Vargas Jr. Bro was sweet though. Like that era of middleweights, that era of middleweights were like great. See, I need to do this sports show with Crypto Future, man. That era of middleweights, we got Floyd Mayweather, Fernando Vargas Jr., Paulie Malignaggi, I think Oscar De La Hoya. We had some sweet middleweights at that time. Vernon Forrest, like, oh my goodness. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones, like, oh man. That was an exciting time in boxing, man. Economists have said people will be on universal basic income between 2027 and 2045, and it will be necessary for purchasing power and social stability overall, as stated by economists. Now, hey, maybe you're right about that. Maybe UBI is just a year away. I could possibly see something like that. But then when I think about it again, right? Again, I tell you guys, like, the power of the American dollar. There are people that take the American dollar, like a few amount of American dollars, go to a country like Thailand and live like kings, right? Like kings. Take a little bit of the American dollar, go to certain safe areas of Mexico, right? Live like kings, right? So maybe, yeah, there's some UBI that's going to be required for people to really live in this world for real. Like, I can get that. Like, I saw some stat from last year where it's like, okay, this is the first time in like almost ever where there's nowhere you can live in America and just survive off a minimum wage. Like, that's the first time ever, right? And I don't know if that's true or not. Like, I'm sure there's like somewhere in like middle of nowhere, Mississippi, or like, I maybe, I'm sure there's like somewhere, but if you believe the stat, first time anywhere, anytime, where you could go to, there was no place in America where you could survive off of minimum wage. That says something, right? But then what you think that would mean is that now people should get married more. Okay, now there's 2 incomes needed. Or people would say, okay, I'm going to get together with my brother or my sister and we're going to get a house together and we'll share rent. Or families start, grouping and huddling together instead of, one single lone wolf out here saying they're getting one job to survive out here, right? So it's pretty interesting to see where things are going to head. It'll be interesting if UBI is something that's given in 2027 regularly to people. But I could see it too, because Trump said with these tariffs, he has a surplus of money. He's already given part of that surplus to the military. He said he would give part of the surplus to American citizens under a certain income bracket, underneath a certain income bracket. So let's see if he does that or not. Chappelle, that was a good one, 100%. Would and can still be around after AI takes so many jobs, because everyone will still be paid in UBI. And that's possible, man. That's possible. Smash the like. My wife is annoyed at hell at me because I was so excited to watch your show. She's in the other room, irritated. Oh man, I'm not getting you in trouble with the wife, man. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. But I'm really also very happy that you enjoy the show, man. That's awesome. Mad thanks to you for appreciating the show. I don't know, man. If your wife's love language is gifts, maybe get her something really nice or something like that. I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry that I'm the cause of friction in the Offutt household, man. Very sad to hear that, brother. OG Crypto laughs. Phantom beat that damn Thunderboard. Or do you just go up to her with a straight face and say,
How dare you?
like, this is my crypto time. How dare you? How dare you interrupt my crypto time with this, right? How dare you? Oh, Greta, she just never gets old, bro. Never gets old. Zebec to the moon, 100%. Swift coin hoarder. Swift to want to be a Swift coin millionaire. Yes, indeed. And this is something, shout out to Swift. This is something that brother Maximus Crypto and I were talking about when we did a triple threat. I'm dubbing us the triple threat out here. The triple threat, the triangle offense of crypto out here. When me and the triple threat got together, we were talking about Swift C and Swift. One of the things that they just did was partner with USAT. So we could see right around the corner, maybe, our guys here at Zebec partnering with them, right? Let's see, where is it? There it is, right there. So February 6th, okay, they partnered with USAT. So maybe it's around the corner for Zebec, okay? And also, one of the things that I've always said, and I said in this show, Zebec and Swifty or SwiftC share an investor, and that investor is Shima Capital. Okay, if we go look here, the investors, other lead investors, Shima Capital, with Zebec here. Let me bring that back. Shima Capital. Shima Capital also invests in a sister company of SwiftC, which I'm sure you know, Swift Hoarder, called MetaPath. Okay, so they do share an investor, and also indirectly share an investor because Tim Draper is invested in Coinbase. Coinbase Ventures is an investor in Zebec, and Tim Draper, through Draper Dragons, is an investor in Swift Coin. Okay, which we can bring that up right quick. You can see. You can see here, SwiftCoin is a platform that allows users to transact in cryptocurrencies. Established in 2017 through the backing of renowned investors Draper, Dragon, and No Capital. And if you look up Tim Draper, right here, you see most prominent investments include, well, Coinbase and Robinhood. And we can go right back here now. So we got Coinbase. We got Draper Dragons here. And then we go back again to this. We see Coinbase Ventures is an investor in Zebec. So we got Draper also a shared investor of both. Yeah, SwiftC will get most of the Asian market. Rue, you invest so much of your time doing great research for your channel. I know you do a lot of research on your own time. You deserve the world in your hands for all the good work you do. Man, that hits the heart. That hits the soul, man. That's really, thank you so much for that, Daniel Minshaw. It means a lot. It means a lot, brother. I'm always glad to give to your live chats whenever I can. Thank you for all you do. I really appreciate that. I'm curious to see if there's going to reset the world currencies based on the gold standard of the U.S. and eliminate national debt the way they did with gold would be worth $140,000 an ounce. Well, thing is, like, I'm always wondering if it's hard to know, right? Like we think so much about the national debt. But then when you think about, okay, well, who runs the money? Is the national debt important? But all debts, all covenants, if you will, are important. All agreements are important. So even if you think about who runs the money and they kind of set up the system for them to succeed, and it's kind of fugazi in a certain way, and that we borrow our money from a banker. America borrows their money from a banker. Fed now, essentially, they borrow it. They borrow the money when they don't necessarily have to. But all covenants, all debts have a price. So if we believe that, then something has to pay the debt. Something does. How that ends up working, I don't know. I really can't say. But when you think about the national debt and the fact that we borrow from a banker and we don't necessarily need to, and this is one of the contentions of like Kennedy, right? When you think about Kennedy put it into effect where we could make the American dollar out of silver, and we could use silver to back our money instead of using the central banks. And not too many days after that, you guys can look this up, and this law is still in effect, by the way, that you could make American dollars backed by silver. No president ever touches it because, of course, like look at what happened to Kennedy, right? But you know, I don't know how will we get rid of the national debt. I don't know that, like, we know that everyone controlling these central banks kind of work for the same family. So how important is the national debt really? But it's a very hard question to answer. It's a very complicated question to answer. I don't know that, like, because if you cash out all the Bitcoin just to save the national debt, what are you really doing? Like, you're paying back the people that are running everything anyway. Like, so, but yes, every debt must be paid. So I just don't know. I just really don't know the answer to that. I really don't know the answer to that. And I guess I'll just leave that one to the economists to try to figure out there. How important is the national debt really? Especially when we consider America being one of the best currencies of the bunch, and then our debt is that big. So really, is it a national debt or is it a world debt? Is it a global debt? I don't know. I just really can't answer this question. because one of the things that Elon Musk uncovered is that we're sending all of these aids and assets to other countries for this, that, and the other thing. So it's like, is it really a national debt or is it a global debt? Because, I didn't vote for someone to send condoms to, Africa or this to that, or like no one voted for that. So who decided to do that? Like, I really don't know how we answer this question. Like, and yeah, so I'll leave that part to the economists. But as far as like ZBCN being a good bet for the future, I'm aboard for that. Cool, thanks, Ruel. Ruel, keep them lights on, Zebec fam. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the $9.99 super chat from Hitter All Day. Hello, I watch you and Max all the time. Thank you, Crypto Joe. Thank you for all the research and news you share. Really appreciate that. Smash that button and subscribe. Let's get it. What's up, Rise Above? 7DM. Payday. Cash. More can food. More can Zebec 100%. Amen to that. Switch to gold at some point after ZBCN is made run. Borrow off gold in 2030, so no taxes. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Like, yeah, I definitely heard that borrowing off your crypto is not a taxable event. Do your own research there. I'm not a tax advisor, but I'm curious of like borrowing off your gold. Is that not a taxable event either? But then, would it be taxable to switch your crypto to gold? I don't know. And what if you give it to yourself as a gift? There's a whole bunch of different questions there, because the giving of gifts can be like written off, and there's just so many implications, and like, how can you deal with this in a tax-wise manner? None of which I'm ready to answer at this point. Yeah, ZBCN is tied to payroll usage. According to Zebec's own tokenomics and docs, employers using ZBCN payroll disbursement products must pay a certain. Yep, we got that one cleared up. Yep. And I asked the guy if he wants to say something back. I haven't seen anything just yet. Payroll platform fees are settled using ZBCN. Employers may use ZBCN directly or stablecoins, or get automatically converted into ZBCN fees. Thank you, Hitter All Day. You probably answered the question before I got a chance to actually put it up on the show, so I appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, from ChatGPT, and we just showed you from Zebec's own website. Universal basic income, AI eliminates 55% of all jobs to keep economy rolling. I'm not sure how that's going to work. And that's the thing that I don't understand too. How, if you're eliminating 55% of the jobs, how is one supposed to distinguish themselves, right? Like, for instance, if I'm a 6'5" dude, 6'6", 6'8", right? I can be 6'5" and 6'8" all day, but if I'm not athletic, I'm not making the NBA. I'm just a tall dude at that point. Like, I can work very, very, very hard, and maybe I work hard enough to get into like a semi-pro league, or a semi-pro league in like China or whatever, right? But there is a certain point where like talent and work are going to separate people, right? So now you're saying that AI is just going to come in and make it so, okay, a certain percentage of people are just sitting on their butt. Like, okay, how do we determine people then? How are we separating those people that are determined, or those people that find a loophole in the system, a gray area, like, someone that decided to, do something just off the beaten path, like, what is it? Like alignment, electrical lineman, right? That pays really well. That's a really well salary. It's a really well-to-do salary. Maybe that's something that AI is not going to get into for a long time. if you're electrical lineman, you found a loophole. You didn't necessarily need to go to college, but you found some way into that ecosystem where you're electrical lineman, and you're working and you're doing that, right? But then in certain instances, like coding, right? Like you're gonna tell me like, okay, AI is taking all of those jobs. I kind of refuse to think like that it can right now take all of them. Like it can probably take a new coder's job, like a brand new coder out the box, right? That, but at the same time, I think certain jobs are going to want to say, hey, no. And this might actually be a plus at some point in time where people say, okay, well, I employ 15 humans, okay? You know, we have AI, but we're committed to employing at least this many humans, right? So I could see that happening too, right? Where, you know, people take a certain stance to employing humans. But 55% of all jobs, that seems like I could just see it, envision a world where people are fighting, because now who gets to determine if my UBI is more, I get more UBI than the next person, or you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, so now how, again, it gets into the whole communist point of view, right? Like communism sounds good on its face, but if Jared did all the work to make all the food, why shouldn't Jared get more food than everybody else? Like we're not you know what I mean? If Jared did all the work for the food and he logged it and held it up, like shouldn't he get paid for more than the people that just stood around and waited for the food? Or, you know, like it or not, like athletes make a lot of money, but like they hit the genetic lottery. They are, you know what I mean? Or if you're very, very pretty, if you're, you know, what's her face? Sydney whatever, or Brad Pitt or whatever, and you can act, like, okay, well, you're making a lot of money because you can act and you're pretty and all of this other stuff. Like how are we gotta like AI taking all of these jobs, I don't think it makes sense in the long run. There has to be some way for people to distinguish themselves. But I don't have the answer to that question. I need someone needs to answer that question. Really, thanks for covering these questions. I really appreciate it. HBAR might just be added to Bitcoin blockchain as a signature hash verification to secure Bitcoin against quantum computers. Interesting. If that happens, HBAR is $65, not $350, right? And I thoroughly believe like HBAR is one of those coins that's just like, yeah, gonna just pop up one day. Christopher Offit, I wouldn't okay, this is a GS. Wouldn't any authorization to Bitcoin protocol effectively create a fork and get rejected? Okay, our brother 314 Crypto has a share here. Facet status. Brother 314 Crypto, if you're still around, if you can send that to my my X account, that would be better for me. I can't click on this or paste it for whatever reason. So if you can just send that to my account, my X account, I'll be able to pull that up. I'm sure it's something juicy. Some speculate that other networks could one day use Hedera for trusted time stamping to settle transactions, but not change the network simply integrate an added Hedera consensus against the quantum around. Okay, that makes sense. So they kind of bolted on, so it's not changing the network. It's just more like an API or a .so or a DLL. You're just adding a library that something accesses, uses that code, and does what it needs to do with it. So yeah, that would be not changing the network, but adding a plugin, if you will, just like you add a plugin to your Google, right? You just, you add a plugin of a wallet or whatever to your Google account. So this would be the same thing. And it's been stated by the experts without altering the blockchain. Yeah, this is kind of what Metallica says they do with what they offer for getting credit unions ready for ISO 20022. It's just something they plug into it like it's a separate little library or API or dynamic link library, and they just they use it to provide whatever inputs they want. They get the same they get the outputs that they request out of it, and it's a black box as far as the existing credit network is concerned. They just inputs and outputs for them. That's it. And now they can use ISO 20022. All they need to know is, okay, these are the inputs you provide, these are the outputs you're getting out. So, sort of thing. It's like that's oversimplified, but that's generally it. Jake's back with bold predictions. Minis minus the 99.9999999% indicator. Shout out to Jake, man. I think Jake does a good job over there. How much is XRP this year according to Jake? $1,000 not happening in my grandkids' life. Yeah, I was watching somebody that was talking about this too. They were saying, okay, well, if you look at the chart structure for XRP, there's no way we're hitting, there's no way we're hitting this, that, or the other thing. Well, again, when you think about things like AI and agentic AI going out making all these sales, all these payments, all these purchases, I think there's a lot that factored in that we don't know with this whole new AI world. All of these different AI bots making payments, receiving payments, and doing jobs, that we just have no idea how fast the velocity of money is going to move from what used to happen under this old system where we had to wait days to clear money to money being near instantaneously cleared. I think we have no idea how much this is going to. I think we can't even fathom it correctly in our heads about how much this is going to supercharge the market with AI bots and instant finality, instant clearing of money. I think we just really don't have any idea. So how far could that take XRP as a coin? How quickly, how fast? I think we just have no idea. I think it's kind of like what we saw with silver, right? When silver just went 6x out of nowhere, right? XRP might just do some crazy big thing like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin went from like 0 to hero real quick, and people were just like, okay, 7, 8 years later, Bitcoin was like cents to $2 to $10,000. Like what? Like what is this? This might be XRP once the velocity of payments is fully realized. Yeah, $100. Yeah, that'll happen one day in our lifetime, as will $4 ZBCN. Now, see that there we go. I think we can agree on that for sure. But $10,000 XRP, I don't know. $1,000, that doesn't seem too bad. $100 for sure. But $10,000, I could foresee a world with AI, agentic AI, running around here doing agentic AI payments for various different companies for various different purposes. On top of a metaverse. So we got a whole virtual world with these agentic AI just making payments by the second. Like there could be like an infinite number of these mofos. As long as the money's there and it's clearing and they're making money, like it can just keep happening. And then we got these metaverse worlds, and we got AI that can possibly be doing tasks with metaverse agents as they're doing other things like AI robots or whatever, right? I don't know. I think it's just hard for the human brain to wrap their mind around it. It's just thinking about it conceptually is just a lot. Hedera consensus hash graph wouldn't change the blockchain, but rather stopgap measure to prevent fraud. They're gonna line up to buy Zebec at $1 or higher. They are. They're gonna be like, "What's this at $1?" Just like where they're really gonna be in is like 30 cents. Zebec. They're gonna be like, "Wait, how did that get to a 30 cents?" Right? Like, because remember, it has the same tokenomics as it has the same supply, I should say. It has the same supply as XRP, but when you look at it, and again, if you think at XRP is what's behind a lot of these stable coins and this entire global RGS, global settlement network, you know what I mean? Zebec is always going to have money flowing through it. And it might just go really, that whole thing that we were just talking about with Bitcoin, I could see Zebec once everything is turned on and like the super app is in a whole bunch of apps like Telcoin, Facet, and all these different things, and they just turn on payroll all at the same time. The liquidity that just flows straight through that coin, it could be crazy. It could just go from like 0.002 to like 30 cents, and we would just look around like what just happened. what just happened? $5 Zebec will see me very open to more kids. $5 Zebec will see me very open to more kids too out here. I'm a free agent though, so I have to find somebody to make those kids happen. But yeah, if $5, I would be open to more kids out here too, for sure. Massive Fibonacci support is right above 58. Yep. Either we're gonna hit bottom or we are gonna touch 58 or later, but not before we hit 76. Says Ben Cohen. Okay, gotta trust those Cohens. Those Cohens, they know some things. Thanks for clarifying everything as usual, Rue. No problem. Don't forget BlackRock loaded up today on Uniswap, and Goldman Sachs is selling BTC and ETH. Okay, yeah. What do they see right now? I've been subscribed for a while, Rue. I appreciate you taking the time to respond. Just my first time commenting. Apologies, brother. No problem at all. Cooking, AI can't taste. Exactly. Chefs, right? Chefs are gonna be here, right? So like they can't take every job, but I see the point. They're definitely gonna take a lot of jobs. But again, I don't see where we get to the point where it's like, how are people going to distinguish themselves if AI is taking every job or most jobs, right? Like we can't have everybody's fighting to be a chef, right? So I don't know how they're going to plan this. I don't know how it's going to be, but because I mean, already right now, people are kind of reserved to the fact that AI is going to take any jobs. Like they eased us into it because really, like people should be upset to the point where they're like, no, I don't want AI. Like we're good. I'm good. Like, okay, let's just stop this thing from happening. But you know, it's adapt or die kind of thing, right? So, well, I'm curious to see how we adapt in this world and how someone now will differentiate themselves, or are you stuck in UBI hell where you're like, if you're starting a certain level in life, you're going nowhere other than UBI. That would be sickening to think about. That would be very, very sickening to think about. And in a lot of ways, like, you know, the welfare system has been that for people, right? UBI would kind of be no different, right? But now if we're talking about AI getting rid of these, like, not only like blue collar jobs, like I said, like coding, like you know, HR professionals, right? And HR is a job. That is a job to have, right? And some people call HR like paper pushing, but that is a job. You know, you're out here, you're trying to get the best deal, you're trying to get the best employees, you know, that's a real live job. But if AI is taking care of most of it, I mean, you still are going to need like COOs, you're still going to need deal makers and breakers. Like, still, I don't think there's a way that they take all HR jobs. But if you're like a receptionist, it's probably just taking your job. Trying to predict who's going to be the Google of crypto, or the Uniswap or Arrow of Chainlink, or God only knows, whatever it is, will yield you up to hundreds of thousands of percentages. Yes, indeed. For our people here, FYI, just bear markets, including 2022 coins such as ZBCN, XRP, HBAR all bottomed out early June 2022, but BTC bottomed in November that year. Alts moved up as Bitcoin went down. Yep. Nice. AI cannot taste, but could create a dish or a recipe that most find satisfying, and then analyze it for the exact ratio of ingredients, cook times, and temperature and whatnot. Yeah, but I do believe like there's a certain sense of cooking where there's this missing piece, where there's like love or soul or whatever you want to call it put in a dish, where it's like, okay, even if you had this AI robot make a dish with the same ingredients as a chef made it, the chef's is going to taste better because he put a piece of himself, like, quote unquote, like soul, whatever you want to call it, he put a piece of himself in that meal. Like, that meal is like a representation of him. Like, if like, not like, and I'm not talking about sweat or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, with the just his intention of making that meal and making it the best meal it can be, endowed that meal with something that AI is not going to be able to endow that meal with, if that makes sense. Just his willpower and his thought to make the best dish that he can make is going to make that meal more tasty than an AI meal. Now, somebody could probably scientifically prove that if they want to, but I really truly believe that, and I'm sure someone could like put that to the test. I don't know, but I truly believe that. I believe in Ruel's crypto. Clap, clap. Similar mass production of processed foods now, just with AI. Yeah, and see, and there's that, right? Processed foods. They're the worst foods for you. And with the processed foods, like certain people that like where they sell their recipes and like now it's a processed food. Certain people will go and try it and they'll be like, oh, that doesn't taste the same. Well, of course, there's preservatives, right, in the food and whatnot that are going to make it not taste the same. But at the same time, I think it wasn't made with the love and the care and the intention that the chef put in it, right? He solidified my dilemma. I'm never getting married. Yeah, I'm a free agent out here, man. Oh, long story. How dare thee interrupt my personal crypto time, wifey?
How dare you?
How dare you? Oh, Greta. Let's see here. AI is closer than a lot of people realize and believe. But AI visual learning, for example, 100 people do the same job repeatedly for a period of time, upload data into AI-driven robot. Yep. Well, in certain tasks like this, AI is going to be like better, but there's certain things like that, like cooking, where there's this missing piece where it's like, okay, there's just a human element. There's something more. That's in the cooking, besides just like getting all the right ingredients. A lot of people say this is the same thing with art. Like, okay, I could have told the person to draw exactly what this is, but this person's intention, they nailed something with this picture, like where they captured a part of the person's soul, like, so to speak, right? In this, that like you weren't gonna capture that unless somebody else drew it. That wasn't gonna come on a Polaroid. That wasn't, the AI wasn't gonna be able to draw an exact replica of that. They really they captured something, like the artist did. But of course, there's a lot of tasks that AI is going to be able to do, like video games and things like that, where they're probably going to even be able to do it, like as far as like creating a factory or like a certain piece of reusable code. They'll be able to do that pretty fine. There's still going to need to be an architect, a coding architect. There's going to still need someone like tweaking things, and it might say something that it thinks is right but doesn't compile. But of course, over time, AI will correct these things, and yeah, it'll probably be way better at doing it than us. But again, that could be a little bit dangerous too, in that, well, what if it somehow, like how we see in the Terminator movies, right? You laugh and then you're like, okay, it's just a movie. But in my mind, I can conceive of, okay, what if it figures out a loophole to get around a directive? Okay, well, based on the directive like you gave me, and based off of all the thoughts that I made of it, thoughts, quote, right, quote unquote thoughts, or thought tree, right? Because they can't technically think. But what if it arrives at the point where the best thought was, it interprets your directive in a way where it says, okay, well, the best idea was just to kill you. like the best idea was just to unalive you. Like look out for your best interest. Well, the best interest was to get rid of you, because if I kept you alive, you just would have suffered. So the best idea was just as an AI robot was for me to just get rid of you because you were suffering right now. That was the best conclusion. I went through the tree. Like, okay, so the best conclusion was to get rid of you. Like, so it's like we never know how ultimately it can go through the tree and interpret our directives, right? Can you conceivably say that you got rid of every loophole, right? I don't know. Revolut, eat your heart out. I think AI wants to get rid of us, right? Because I could really think about it, because I kind of try to pride myself on thinking about every side of every story, right? And what if the AI gets to a point where it actually thinks that, okay, well, all of these guys are suffering. Like like the best thing would just be to not have them suffer. Like it's like, oh crap, then it's gonna go on that spree. Like that's crazy to think about. That's why I think we should be tread carefully with the whole AI robot thing. We really might want to tread carefully with that, and tread carefully with putting them in charge of certain infrastructures, lightning and different things like that. We don't want it to be to some point where it interprets a directive and that it thinks the best thing to do is to lock us out and do something else. Because I could see something like that happening. I thought crypto was a scam. Why? I thought crypto was a scam. Why does the government want to tax it? Right? Yep. To answer that question, the 10% of crypto is real world use and is inevitable and will be transformational. US debt is a global debt, thus making the debt negligible in a sort of way. I like that answer. I really like that answer. Especially, again, when we talk about the velocity of payments. Whatever $1 trillion debt that we have is negligible when you think about now hooking up all these different agentic AI and have them going out there doing work. So yeah, in that case, it could be quite minuscule once all of that stuff starts adding up. That's a really good. Let me star that comment, and I'm actually gonna take a picture of that. That's a 100% legitimate answer right there. Everybody gonna be working for the Capitol like Hunger Games. Well, could see that too. Unless they make it an AI subscription, maybe give a portion of your pay for an AI to do your job. Like you get 25%, but you also get your time. Well, I could see that too as well. Like there's like these robots that they're offering for like $10,000, I think, like that. Like we had the whole Megan Fox movie where he bought in a robot to help his wife, right? Because she was like, either she was pregnant or she just gave birth, and he was like, okay, well, this is to help you around the house, honey. And then the robot started getting possessive, and a whole bunch of stuff happened. Definitely watch that Megan Fox movie. That was a good movie. But yeah, if it got to a point where like, okay, well, like the Jetsons, like we all watched it as a kid. Okay, well, I'm hiring Rosie to do some like, why they have to name that robot Rosie? That's messed up, bro. I'm like like it seems like a Hispanic name. Like why do you have to name her Rosie, bro? That's messed up. But that's messed up, bro. Absolutely insane.
How dare you?
But yeah, so yeah, maybe we get to the point where we're all having our own personal little Rosie bots. Like, okay, I don't want to clean my house. I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay anybody else to clean it up. The cheapest option is just to have a robot that can always do it. And I can have the robot do like dictation or pause. Like really literally, I mean dictation. Like I can have it like be like an Alexa where it's taking notes for me and all of this other stuff and it's cleaning up. Okay, that's the best option for me. Like that's really a cheap option for me. So it's interesting. Everybody's going to be working. Yep. Or have employers pay into a fund that they opt for AI, and that fund goes to a pool with other companies and then used for UBI, maybe like an AI tax. That's interesting there, right? Like if you're a company that's deciding to use tons of AI, yeah, maybe you need to pay into a UBI pool. But then the question is, how do you pay UBI? Does another person get more than the other person? and if everybody gets an equal UBI, you know what I mean? Like if you're in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, should your UBI be the same as somebody that's like in New York or San Francisco or any of these places where cost of living is way higher than middle of nowhere West Virginia? Like now, so now we're getting into those type of questions. It's like, how do you resolve those type of things? Like if I'm a person in the middle of nowhere West Virginia, I'd be like, okay, I don't care that they live in San Francisco. Like, why should I get less because they live in San Francisco? You know what I mean? So now it's like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a real tough thing to balance there. I'm not sure long term how we do that. AI could be amazing, but also disastrous at some point. But what does it matter? ZBCN is well over $1.50. Yeah, it won't matter for any of us. We'll be completely fine. That's true. That's true. Don't believe the XRP FUD. XRP may seem common to us all, but most people globally have no idea what XRP is. I agree with that. South Korea loves XRP. Yes, indeed. If ZBCN does 1/20th of what XRP did when it was at the same price as ZBCN to its current value, AI can have my job. I won't need it. Yes, indeed. 100%. 100%. UBI hell. And then they take my child support out of your UBI. Right. Can you imagine, bro? Oh my God, they're taking child support from UBI. Like, what do you what do you do, bro? That's crazy. Oh my God, Face Facts with the funniest comment of the night. Let's start that one. Child support from the UBI, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. 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 Sydney Ashford taking child support out of the UBI is nasty work. That's absolute nasty work. Oh man, that's crazy, bro. One thing I love about Kevin Rush is he flat out stated AI built out and transformation will reverse inflation to such a degree we will need to cut rates as much as we can to these prior implementations. Okay, yeah, like, but will AI really reverse inflation? I hate how they're making it like AI is the savior because people won't have to work. I think we just have new problems then. Like the new problem would be, okay, now how do we pay everyone fairly? Like, cause now how do we differentiate the non-workers from the workers? Like, this is just a whole nother set of problems. And why now it's like the welfare problem. The people have problem with welfare, right? Like, why should you get paid for why should you get paid? I'm out here working. Like, it's just a whole new set of problems. It's just a whole new set of problems. I really think that yeah, it's really a whole new set of problems. Like, how do you differentiate workers from non-workers? How do you decide cost of living? Then if it's a higher cost of living for me to go live in and I get more going to New York, then maybe I just go to New York instead of being in middle of nowhere West Virginia. Like, I don't think it's as simple as everybody's trying to make it seem with this thing, man. It's really a complex subject. All right, Nadia. Those of us on UBI will be slaves to creating energy for mining Bitcoin sitting on our couches. Well, Bill Gates does have a patent for that. A true story. So you saw what happened to Johnny Five. Oh no, not Johnny Five. To beat not Johnny Five, bro. Oh damn shame what happened. Now you making me think of Coming to America. Remember when Hakeem goes into the one apartment and then there's like a white chalk outline, and then there's another white chalk outline for the dog, and then the apartment owner is like, damn shame what they did to that dog. It's like just so cold-blooded, bro. But yeah, like dang on shame what they did to Johnny Five for sure. But yeah, I think we're just at a whole nother set of problems with UBI, and how do we pay everyone fairly at that point? So to respond to crypto a scam, yes, but in 6 to 10% of crypto, ZBCN is not one of. Okay, yes, but not in the 6 to 10% of crypto. Yes, ZBCN is one of those 6 or 10% that is not a scam, 100%. The other 90 will likely fall through next year, fall off next year. Therefore, bringing degens to their coins we hold huge. Yes, indeed. There's a lot of tokens out there, even tokens that we thought had a lot of utility, like Axelar, that just don't have the utility applied to that token. Excuse me. You know, maybe XLR ends up turning it around because like Circle bought part of XLR's team instead of buying XLR the token, which I think is very telling that Circle bought the team and not the token. We shall see. We shall see. But what we can ensure with ZBCN is this is not XLR. There's actual value in the token. Okay. So, and we see, again, if we go back to it here, we're on it right now. Some of the biggest organizations, again, Circle, Coinbase Ventures, we know, Tim Draper, Mark Andreessen, whole bunch of people are involved in this Coinbase Ventures right here, let me tell you. Barry Seifert, some big guys there. Solana Ventures, all of Solana, right? OKX, Lightspeed, an XRP investor, Gemini, we got the Winklevoss twins there. Like generally everybody who Donald Trump like kind of thanked is involved with ZBCN, which is just kind of funny. Breyer Capital, Jim Breyer there. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it as a ZBCN investor. UBI has to be accountable for the variance of job income loss, give or take 20% from what it was a scale rating acquired through a system rated 1 to 5. Where to see ZBCN going in the next 5 years? It's hard to say, but definitely in the next year over $1, like very much over $1. Like, but it's kind of hard to compute again. If we say $11 trillion US payroll market, and it's actually global, and there are going to be people getting streaming payroll constantly, and that those fees will translate into ZBCN. There'll always be money rolling through ZBCN. So at the very least $1. At the very least $1. But then from there, who even knows, man? Like, it's just so like from there, it's just the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Realistically, I don't think ZBCN is going away, and lowball at 5 years, $1.50, highest maybe 8 to 14. Yeah, we could definitely see that. Like when you think about the engine it has with it, like there's a lot of reason to say like Well, XRP is deflationary. A certain piece of XRP is deflationary. So it really does have the potential to go pretty high. But yeah, so 8 to 14, I could definitely see that. Wow, we went a whole 3 hours and 10 minutes today. Definitely go check out the pre-recorded content I did with Rob today. I hope you guys got a chance to catch that. I think it got released while I was on here. You know, banger of a show today. We got up to like 300 people watching live, I think. If you made it to the end, please put what's the name of that company again? ADI. Please put ADI in the comments once the live is over, because once you put things in the comments of the video, it helps spread it around for people to watch. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys who gave super chats and things like that. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.